Welcome back, everybody, to Facetious. This is episode 136, brought to you on Monday, August 27, 2018, at approximately 6:02 p.m. Central Standard Time. I am one of your hosts. I'm Larry, aka Bluemanrule, and I am joined, as usual, by my main Damien, none other than Mike, aka Scarfinger, aka Real Talk. What's up, dog?
What's up, dog?
Nothing. I need to. There we go. I had to mute my video, man. So no, we got everything going. We streaming out, man. We streaming out everything. I'm up here on the new box. You know what I'm saying, bro? Up here,
man, got box. That new. He probably look every time he go in his computer room, he probably walking pigeon toe for some reason. You like,
right?
Where that come from, dog? You know you walk like that because you know when the brother got some new shoes, he all of a sudden he pigeon toed like
right.
And he always got that laugh.
And he swear he's smooth. Swear he's smooth.
But you gotta do the woo when you laugh.
Get it at the end, boy. They ain't ready for that, man. That's a little bit too good for them.
That's when you know you clean. Like
right, exactly. Like collars just constantly popping the whole time. So yeah, man. But no, man. I think we're gonna have a pretty broad show today, man. We're gonna cover a lot of different things today, man. So
I want to talk about some things.
Okay, word. And you know he never write his stuff down. So
I never write. I'm like Jay-Z with this joint, man. You know what I'm saying? For real. All right. So your man's is upset. I'm gonna tell you 3 things that I'm upset about.
All right. What's up, dog?
Number 1, Comcast sucks. It sucks so bad.
You were in this last week. You were in this.
It's so bad. Like, yo, I came home a little bit after 5, right? I came home a little bit after 5.
All right.
Internet done cut out 4 times in 2 hours. In
Bruh.
2 hours, the internet done cut out 4 times. It even got so bad. Like, usually my internet cut out, but you can hop on downstairs and they joint might be all right.
Right.
But no, it cut out downstairs too because Comcast sucks. They suck so bad. And other people be like, oh yeah, Comcast is all right to me. It ain't to me. I can't stand it, and I wish I had another choice.
Man, yeah, you might want to hit up Google Fiber about that, man. Google. I mean, you know, they kind of.
Are they around here?
No, so you know they were moving into cities. They were just getting ready to move in Oklahoma City, and then they stopped their whole program. But then I heard that another city is getting ready to start it up, and I'm like, come on, man! You were here. You were talking to Oklahoma City.
Like they do stuff like we gonna set up in Austin. Like that's great. Mm-hmm. I live in Richmond. This is almost the capital. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, that's great for Austin people, but we ain't Austin people. So
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
so Comcast, I do not like having Comcast. I know that part of the problem is probably my router.
Probably. I mean, listen, my router.
That's I know part of the problem is that. But
boy, I'm gonna tell you
the rest of the problem. The rest of the problem ain't me, and ain't the router that I paid $100 for.
Yeah, well, okay.
Comcast, and they suck. All right, number 2.
All right,
the mail service in Richmond sucks.
Let's go bring it on some more. So what's up, man? What happened? What would you wait though?
Man, the mail service around here is just terrible. Like if you're waiting on a package, I mean, you may get your package, you may not get your package. You know what I mean? Like, and then like, let's be honest, when they're delivering here, they're not just delivering to a residential, like they're delivering to a business, and they're in like how you treat your businesses suck.
Man,
like it is bad. It is really bad. Like there's times when down in the office, they don't even see a mail person for days.
Really?
It's really bad in Richmond. It is bad, and like Richmond has the largest mail sorting facility in Virginia, I believe.
Okay,
it's in Sandston, which is near the airport. But like it's one of the largest. Is I think it is the largest mail facility in Virginia. And like, how do you have the largest facility right here, right down the street?
Right down the street? The street,
Right
not the
down
street.
the street. Right down the street. And your service is so bad.
Right.
And then they want to complain that they losing money about this, that, and the third. Bruh.
Man.
I just really need you to get your stuff together. And like,
yeah.
Because I ordered a new mod, a mod that I've been plotting on for a long time.
For your vape, to be clear.
I ordered a new vape mod, and the people I ordered from said it's supposed to be here today.
Okay.
It ain't here. Ain't nobody heard from. Ain't nobody synced.
Nothing.
Ain't nobody synced. Nothing. Nothing.
You ain't got no tracking number, no nothing.
I got a tracking number, but the tracking number only says it's out for delivery. That don't mean nothing in Richmond. That don't mean nothing in Richmond at all. All I know is it's out for delivery. And that means I ain't gonna get this today.
That's rough, man. I hate that, especially when you're waiting on stuff. You know, building this computer, dog, I had to wait on so many stinking things. And bro, it is frustrating, especially when it's like, all right, it's supposed to go out. I'm supposed to have it by this day. It's like 2 days later. It's like, all right, it ain't here. What's going on, bro? What's happening? And that stuff is infuriating, man.
Yeah, it's like mail service. Wazam.
Mm-hmm.
Wazam. Wazam mail service. Okay, so this one isn't as bad, but right. it's just as annoying. It's
okay,
like it's super annoying. Why every few days I got my mouse and keyboard are Steel Series, right?
Oh, you got big baller money. Okay.
No, I got the lowest end Steel Series. Mine don't change colors. It's just blue.
You know what you're saying? No, that's like saying I just got the BMW 3 Series. It's still a BMW.
Yeah, I got the stock. I got the stock. You know what I mean? I got the stock one. It don't matter. Like this though, in the scheme of things, like I said, mine change colors, but it's just blue. It don't do no other colors. It's just blue.
Silly, man.
Just blue. That's all it is. It's
just blue. That's it.
My mouse changed colors, but because my keyboard don't change colors, I just made the mouse blue because there ain't no reason for it to be two different colors.
That's true. It's also valid.
But Steel Series sends me updates to their software all the time.
Right.
And it's not Steam bad because Steam need to do an update
every day. Like Steam, do you need at least 25 to 60 megs every day?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what is happening here where you need to do an update every day?
Somebody ain't optimizing their software. Like, let's just call it what it is. If I gotta update my software every day, I ain't do it right the first few days.
Nah, I mean,
I don't understand, man. I don't understand.
So it's just, I mean, it's just annoying. Like, and then you get the pop-ups, and then you got to download everything, and you're just like, bruh, we just did this. My thing only turned blue. It don't go no other colors. Why do I need an update?
Right. Well, you know, they got to add in new functionality for new boards and new hardware pieces. And
for the sake of being for the kids, I'm not gonna say what I want to say.
What really feel like that.
It was an intentional mispronunciation of functionality. I'm talking about their functionality, but but it's just annoying.
Yeah,
it's just annoying, and I mean it ain't as annoying and random as like Windows updates, but like it's still just as annoying. It's you know what, the people who have iTunes on their PC, it's that kind of annoying. iTunes just pops up, be like, we need to do an update. Well, ain't nothing changed, iTunes.
Right.
Ain't nothing changed,
bro.
You did all this update for nothing, and then you keep trying to get me to download Safari. I don't want no Safari.
Hey,
I got a PC.
I can't remember the last time I used QuickTime. Why am I still asked to install QuickTime, bro?
You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't use QuickTimes over here on PC land. Like, we in PC land. We don't do this. That's not where we came from.
Stinking Safari, man. Yeah, man. I don't understand why they do that, man. But I think they just like to do it just to get into people's stuff. Like just to know that they got access to your hard drive, just to know that they can get in, pull data when they need to. You know, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, but I just feel like these companies are unnecessary. Like they already got their hand in your pocket. And I just feel like they just like to have it in there to count your change. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah. I'm gonna say this real quick. This is only for the people that's gonna watch this, or if you get the show out today, that listen today, because I think today's the last day for this sale. The early Saints Row games 1 and 2 are on sale for $250 on the Xbox store.
Nice.
$250 each.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
And I have one on disc. I had 2 I rented, and then I played it, and then I sent it back. I game fluid at the time or whatever.
Okay.
And then I have, and then I have 3, and then I have 4 all on on Xbox. And then I do have 2 on PlayStation also. But yes, I needed a copy of 2. I started playing 1 last week as one of the games that I played this week. But I was using my disc. I would so love it if I didn't have to go get a disc, because if I got to go get a disc, that means I got to take Killing Floor out of my Xbox. And that's not what we about.
Oh man. So you mean to tell me you got a physical copy of Killing Floor? Like I have
a physical copy of Killing Floor. Here's what had happened.
See, I thought we matured past this point, Mike.
No. Here's what had happened. Okay. So here's what had happened. I
got a physical copy, bro.
Of course I got the other versions of Killing Floor on PC and PlayStation through very, very cheap and or free, but very legal means.
Right.
It came out later on Xbox, so that means that jank was at full price for a long time. I wanted to be able to play on Xbox, but that junk was like $40. And I'm like, I ain't got $40 to buy a third version of a game I already own 2 other versions of.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's a different proposition when it's the sole version. Yeah,
right.
But no.
So I went to the shoe store one day, right? Went to the shoe store one day. I was looking for some shoes to work, so I was in Payless. Like, let's be real. I'm gonna be real about it. I was in Payless. And the Payless is a couple doors away from a GameStop. So I went to the GameStop and I saw that they had Killing Floor. It was like 22. And I'm like, yo, I barely paid for the other 2 versions that I have. I could put 22 on it. I don't really want to put 40. Right. And this is also before I started playing on Xbox more, because this is where, my cousin and I play. So this is before that. So I'm just like, all right, I will go ahead and put 22 on it. Now, let's be honest. I don't go to GameStop very often.
Right. Nobody goes. Wow. Nobody.
So the little 22 was the little discounted price if you got your little card thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I ended up paying a little bit more for it.
Yeah.
I wasn't quite happy about paying some more for it, but I wasn't about to get my card thing, because most of the things that I buy these days are digital. So GameStop can't help me with that.
Nope. Cannot.
They can't help me with that. And they obviously can't help none of us because they scrambling.
Bruh. And with Xbox introducing, and we'll talk about it, but with them introducing the monthly subscription to get a console, Xbox Live, and Game Pass for 2 years, but you keep the console when you're done, bruh. Look, he just washed his hands.
It's a wrap, dog. It's a wrap. Yeah, it's done. Look, if PlayStation does something,
if anybody
similar,
follows suit, man.
If PlayStation does something similar, it is a wrap on everything. And but look, if PlayStation does something similar, they can even wrap Microsoft up.
They could, but all they got
to do is one thing, and they can wrap Microsoft up.
What that is?
Put PlayStation Now in that package for the same price.
PlayStation Now would be pretty good, because right now it is excessively overpriced.
Yep, but if you put it at the same price as Microsoft doing for their console,
their Game Pass,
and the Game Pass and the Live, and you get PSN Plus and PlayStation Now, it's a wrap on Microsoft and their whole idea.
Well, I still think though with that, I think both can live in the market. I don't think they're mutually exclusive anymore.
No. What they should do, if PlayStation does this, absolutely do not do anything but the Pro. Don't put nothing else in this package other than the Pro. Offer a Pro package, or offer a Pro with the Viara package.
The Viara, okay.
And don't do nothing else.
So you're just saying hold it off just to the high end, so don't even make it the entry level PS4.
Even if it costs more than Microsoft, they will still clean Microsoft up as long as they have that PlayStation Now in there.
Because that PlayStation Now is what, $20 a month?
I think it was 25 or something like that. Yeah. Something to so it's 2025, something like that. It's way too much for any one of us to spend monthly, but it gives you access to a whole bunch of stuff, way more stuff than Microsoft is offering with this Game Pass. And it is a wrap on Microsoft if they pull this off. If they can pull it off. Like at this point, they could start relaxing a lot. They could just relax a lot. I mean, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, that part where you see where the Kenyans is running a long race, and then it gets to that last little stretch, and they just realize that everybody else is a mile behind them, and it's just like, well, I'll just jog this out.
Right. I ain't in no hurry. I'm good.
yeah. You know what I mean? I set the world record at the World Championships last year.
Did I beat my time?
Yeah, I was already I'm just pacing myself.
Right. That's all that's going on, y'all.
I'm just pacing myself. Like that's pretty much what it is. It's just like, yeah, I don't even need to do that much. Like I already got this.
Right. So
but don't be like that Facebook video that I seen is it's like some sort of marathon or whatever. Like I don't know what's a 5K, 10K marathon, whatever. And it's these two ladies and they running in front, and they slow down, and it's these two white ladies, and they start holding hands so they can go through the tape together, and they don't notice the black lady hoofing.
Oh, she hoofing
around them, and right when they get ready to cross that tape, she passes them and she crosses the tape, and they look like, what just happened? Like.
Nice.
Because they decided to relax. They thought won't nobody there. This lady was hoofing.
Right. That's funny, man.
Hoofing. Don't do that, Sony. Don't do that. You can relax a little bit. Don't relax a lot and start holding hands with people. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, I mean, I think that Sony it's pretty clear they ain't holding hands with nobody anytime soon.
I look, you know what? I do not care about cross-platform play that much. I really don't care. If I was able to play Killing Floor cross-platform, you know what I mean, that would be cool, because then I wouldn't need 3 versions.
That's true. That's true. I think that would work out better for.
But I already can't do it. I already can't do it between PC and Xbox. So why am I worried about the PlayStation getting involved?
Well, yeah. I mean, well, you can do it on Xbox and PC in some games. It's not as prevalent as it should be.
They just not the games I play. You know what I mean? The ones that can do it are not really the games I play. Like I'm not really. I look, my little cuz is be on Facebook every day talking about the greatness again. Somebody else that got sucked in by the greatness of Rocket League. I'm not that dude.
Right.
I'm not that dude. I'm just not that dude that's really gonna care about playing Rocket League. Man. It looks cool. It's cool to watch. I own 2 copies of it. I played a little bit of the one that they gave me for free. I bought the other one so that I could play the game with Meef J that night. And then I ended up being a spectator because it didn't even matter if I played. I did it for my own.
Right. Exactly. Right.
Who's gonna be on Scarcasm this week?
Right.
Along with you.
Yep, with me. I talked to Chase last night, I believe it was. So, yep, but we all good on that. But so that said, the monthly subscription, it aligns with Microsoft's recent strategy. and I think it'll work because the price on it is it's like $840 altogether, which is $20 less than if you bought everything at MSRP, and looks like it's no interest, and so that's quite interesting. Them trying to break it out into that model.
Yeah, I started scratching my chin at the idea of getting an X. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I did too. I mean, let's be real, because you know I got this PC.
I mean, I already own an original. I own an S that I don't even use.
Well, see, here's the thing. So my youngest son wants an Xbox for Christmas, right? So I don't know how I can make that happen, you know, but you know, I'm probably just gonna try to get something on Black Friday. But you know, I'm thinking for the next generation, that would be really cool. You know, like Knox was saying, you know, he'll buy the system outright and then do the monthly payments for the other kids, if you know, for the kids if they want one, and they can kind of share it so he don't have to share his. But I don't know. We'll see how it all shakes out, man. So
yeah, that's pretty much what my S is right now, so that my daughter can play and she ain't got to use mine.
right. That's basically how I would break mine down. But if I can get an S for like real cheap, I'm down for that, because I would replace my original and just give him my original. You know what I'm saying? I would do that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. So, all right, Mike. So we're about 21 minutes in, man.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so I was looking at this article. I got two more like little frilly things to talk about. Well, and then we gotta get serious. Then we gotta get real. So I was reading the article, and I think it was it Polygon or was it Engadget? Maybe it was Slate.com. So it says cracked smartphone screens are about to become a thing of the past, right? So
all iPhones users rejoice.
Right. Bro, you don't understand how many people I see with a cracked phone, and the majority of them are iPhone holders.
No. All of people who I know walking around with cracked phones, they all except one is an iPhone.
Right. It's crazy, man. And basically what the article goes into is saying that Samsung and some other people are trying to come up with remember a long time ago at CES when we were talking about the flexible OLEDs? We were talking about those flexible displays. Well, a lot of people are thinking that those could actually be really good screens because they're OLED quality. So they can actually use those in cell phones in order to make the glass unbreakable. Right. And then also there's other things like there's what Gorilla Glass 6 now is working on trying to become unbreakable and stuff like that. Other smartphone users use sapphire or synthetic sapphire for ultra scratch resistant displays.
Shout out to Sapphire.
Shout out to Sapphire.
My birthstone.
I figured it was. Mine is aquamarine, I think. And so but yeah, man. So I think the interesting thing about this, man, is that people drop their cell phones all the time, and I wonder how much this would put those cell phone repair places out of business.
Yeah, can we? Yeah, I might have to get an OtterBox or something like that. I done tore this thing all apart. Like, there's supposed to be gold on the sides here. I done broke all that off.
Thanks, God.
Like, all of the corners is all messed up. I may need an OtterBox. Like, I still got this screen protector on it, but yeah, man, listen. I just bought my daughter a new phone.
Did you? What'd you get her?
And I got a screen protector. I know I bought it El Cheapo.
Right.
But see, here's the thing. I got a screen protector, and I got the screen protector from the man because every time I put a screen protector on, I got bubbles.
Right.
So I needed to buy it from the man so the man could do it so that I won't mess it up.
Right.
Man, that was an $80 phone.
Uh-huh. Uh-oh.
I ended up spending $125. And I'm like, how did we get here? How did we get here?
Nobody wants to be here, Mike.
Nobody wants to be here. Like,
woo.
But yeah, I ended up spending $125. And I'm like, man, for a cell phone for a 10-year-old, like,
so
man,
my question is, why does she need? Well, it's different because you kind of you're not there, right? You're away. So, but I was gonna say, why does she need a cell phone? But I can understand your situation.
You know what had happened?
What that is?
Everybody else got a phone, so then I got bothered about having a phone, and like I'm the parent that usually goes all out at Christmas time.
Okay,
but she was getting a little bit older, and I couldn't think of really anything like other than like buying her like updates for The Sims. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't think of really anything to buy her. And I was just like, well, you know, we can get her a phone. And like, there had been preliminary talk about a phone, you know, because
so it wasn't just at a left field.
Point, yeah, she's a latchkey kid, you know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Then, well, that's understandable. She has a need for that, right? If they don't have a home phone at the house, you know what I mean? When she gets home and she's gonna be there by herself.
They do.
Well, see,
and they have a security system with cameras, and they could just hop on the security system and see her at home. But she a latchkey kid, so we needed
on the way home, I guess.
Yeah, we needed some things to. And then I was just like, you know what, I'll do it. And then so I did that. That was 2 years ago. Then last year I wanted to upgrade the phone because I bought the cheapest phone basically I could find the first time, and it had no memory. Like it had 8 gigs. It had 8 gigs internal, and then of course the operating system takes up most of that.
Like 6, 4, 4, 5.
Like you could download like maybe 2 apps, and you know,
that's it.
It's all about them apps, B. So I upgraded the phone again at Christmas this year, like last Christmas.
Okay.
And then one day she was with me, and she decided that she wanted to race me when I wasn't running. So she took off running, phone came out of her pocket. Bam.
Always.
And she had the little wallet case, the one with the flap.
Yeah.
The flap came over perfectly. Bam. Cracked the screen all up. And here's the thing. You know that Bill Cosby joke about I know we're not really supposed to talk about Bill Cosby, but the Bill Cosby joke that Carlos Mencia stole.
Which one?
Okay, so there's a Bill Cosby joke where you're talking about he's talking about preparing his son to play football. So you know, when he's young, you teach him how to play football and all that other stuff, and then you teach him, and you rough him up a little bit, and you tackle him, and you teach him how to run, and you teach him how to do all of these things. And then he gets into middle school and he starts being really good at it, and you see like actually there's some potential here. And then he gets to high school, and high school he is just really great, and then he gets to be the star of the team, and the first thing he says is, "Hi, Mom."
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah. True.
That's the same thing that happened to me with this cell phone.
Oh man,
because the moment this thing broke, she started crying and said, "Mommy's gonna be mad at me." What do you mean that mommy's gonna be mad at you?
I paid for it. I paid for that. I'm mad at you right now.
Yeah, and I'm like, and then like being a softy dad, like we were in a place where the phone place, and like we immediately walked over there and started looking around, and it's like, okay, maybe I'll think about doing this, but I ain't about to do this right now because my pocket's looking kind of slim at the moment. You know, like that kind of thing. But like, yeah, that's what happened to me. Mommy's gonna be mad at me. I'm mad at you.
I paid for that. You should have been like, did Mama pay for that?
That's what I kept saying.
Did she pay for that? Like you just gotta throw that out there. But like having. But see, here's the problem. In the initial stages with this stuff, it's going to be incredibly expensive, and you can already put a G on an iPhone. Man.
Already, you can put a G on an iPhone. I saw a thing where this guy said that he went to it was kind of like a text skit where he went to go see a psychic. And he was like, well, you know, I wonder what it's going to be like in the future. And then and the psychic says, you're going to have an $800 phone in your pocket. And then he was like, whoa, crap, $800 phone? I must be rich. And she's like,
not really. Not really. That's right though, man. But all right. So last light topic is, bro, we got 48 minutes of Cyberpunk gameplay, man. Now everybody's talking about Cyberpunk 2077.
I ain't seen it yet.
I watched a little bit of it. I watched a little. I ain't watched it yet.
Okay, did you have? Okay, I'm gonna say this. We need to know if you are going to have No Man's Sky-itis with this gameplay.
Hopefully not, because CDP is different from most developers.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah. I mean, but like we, you know, everybody was real hype about No Man's Sky, and the two of us was just like, I don't really see a game there.
Right. But here's the thing, though. The difference is that I'm familiar with CDP. I bought all 3 Witcher games, and they generally deliver more than what they promise every single time. So, with that said, I don't think that'll be the case, but we'll see. I watched a little bit. I'm like, oh, this is big screen worthy. I gotta wait till I get home, throw it up on the big screen.
You're gonna have to report back. Yeah, are we doing another show on Thursday? We
can. Okay. We can. Actually, I don't know if I'll be able to because I think my son plays his first game on Thursday. So I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. Sorry about that, guys. Mike and I hadn't really discussed it, but I think that's the problem. So
do we
football.
Change back?
Yeah, huh? Yeah,
we'll probably
have to change back days. Yeah, make it easier for you. That way you don't have to, you won't be so tired on Thursdays, dog. Because you be like,
I'm always tired. Like, let me tell you what happened. All right. So every time I'm like I'm trying to go to sleep last night, and it's like super late. I was awake, but you know, it was like I'm awake, but I could go to sleep. And then so I'm laying there, and I'm like, okay, I'm drifting. Someone farts, and I wake right up, and I'm like, really? Really? At this point, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Wow!
I stayed up to watch the most recent episode of Power before I got spoiled by the internets.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you do that. I won't do that, but you do that for some reason. So
it's so good, man.
I ain't gonna be able to do it. Look, I don't doubt it, but it's not for your boy in that fashion. That's all I'm saying. So. Hey.
It's not good for your face. I'm
not hating. I'm just calling it what it is.
Good for your pores, bro.
I'm just saying. I'm just calling it what it is, bro. That's all I'm doing. But all right, man. So prayers go out to the families, man, and the families of players for the Madden tournament, man. So there was a Madden tournament in Jacksonville, Florida, and somebody just walked in. It was a former player. He was mad because he lost, and he walked in and shot 2 other players, and killed them. And like, keep in mind, most of the cast that play these games are very young, man. And it's just not that serious, man. It's not that serious. Like, my brother and them used to bet like rent money on Madden games and stuff, but even then they wouldn't even shoot somebody. Like, they almost came to blows, but that's just blows, you know what I mean? That's different from taking somebody out of here permanently. So I don't understand why people do that. So prayers go out to them, man. Sad deal, dude. Sad deal.
Absolutely. So here's what I put on Facebook.
Right, and I saw that. I was gonna mention that too.
It's a senseless tragedy that didn't need to happen. Like, you mad over Madden? Like, what happens when something happened at work, dog? Like this. Right. I know maybe you're a professional gamer and maybe this is your work, but like this ain't, it's video games. It's not, maybe it's real for you, but for the rest of us, it's video games. We do video games separate from the rest of our real lives. Right. Like, this isn't, you know what I mean? Like, you getting worked up about a video game, bro, you lost. You got to take, it's the problem. It's the problem with, people say it's the problem with the culture of the young kids. They just get participation trophies, even though participation trophies have been the thing for many years, because there's no reason why the trophy man can stay in business if he only making 3 trophies for everything. But right. But it's that congratulations, you did something even though you didn't really do anything, part of the culture that makes that, people point to participation trophies, but what it really is, it's that very, very liberal idea that we need to coddle. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we need to make them feel safe and secure. No, you gotta lose sometimes so you can understand how to win. It's kind of like with your parents. Like, when I play video games with Pooh Bear and we're playing against each other, I'm not supposed to let her win. She's supposed to beat me on her own, because she's not gonna get no satisfaction. And that's how you're supposed to raise your kids. Your kids should not get satisfaction out of them winning because you let them win. Even if they know you let them win, they're not supposed to be happy about that.
You got to work for it, man. Like, anything in this life worth having, you got to work for. Period.
Yeah, exactly. Period. So, like, but it's that part of the culture where we have to try to protect their feelings. And I was raised in a team F their feelings. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like this will make, you know, and in some cases, you know, like it goes a little too far. Like, you know, I mean, some cases it goes a little too far, but I'm never going to take it too far with my child, because I know that, you know, you have to be a you have to understand losing in order to be a good winner.
Yes, you do.
You're never gonna understand the people that you beat unless you've been beaten.
Yeah. Right.
You know
right.
I mean? And like, and nothing, and there's, you know, like there's nothing else that can prepare you for losing other than losing. You know what I mean? Like, someone can explain losing to you, but you don't really get losing until you've lost. And you know what? And like, you, even if you're a sore loser, like, I'm just gonna run up and shoot everybody. Like, who feels that way?
Right.
Who feels that way? And then like, and it's I'm gonna get called a racist, but
don't do it. Don't do it.
Goes. We have to teach white men how to accept rejection.
I think just men in general, though, man.
No. I mean, it's men is a lot. Is men in general, but we have to teach white men how to accept rejection. Black men might and other men might do something stupid, but like white men, when they get rejected, they shoot up a place.
I think
it's not the rest of us shooting up places.
Well,
we might shoot the person that beat us, but we're not gonna shoot everybody else.
That's true. I mean, but the thing is, there are people who, there's some people who simply can't handle failure, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you're in that extremely competitive environment where people tend to have a lack of understanding of failure, right?
Right.
So
I mean, it's the same thing. It's losing, failure, all of this is inclusive.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know if it comes down to a self-confidence thing, because failure means you even think less of yourself than you should, or if it's an ego thing or an embarrassment thing because you got beat on a big stage.
You know what?
Could have spent your life doing something else. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think it's a couple of things. One, I just watched a YouTube video of some chick that used to work at IGN, and she she was talking about a situation. I guess this was an old video, but it popped up in my feed because I watched another one of her videos a while ago. She was talking about a situation where some dude who would just show up in the comments all the time, and like
she got stalked. Yeah.
And then like he basically became like a digital stalker, creating other accounts and stuff like that, and even to the point after he got blocked, putting stuff on Reddit and like saying, "Hey, I need to create this other account because I want her to hear me, I want her to love me," and all this other stuff. And like the people there are like, "Don't do this." And he was like, "No, I think I'm gonna keep doing this. She's gonna hear me at some point." It's like that story that I saw this on Facebook also, and it's a lady talking to her son, and her son comes to her and says, like, "I really like this girl in my class, and I tried everything. I tried buying her stuff, I tried talking to her and everything, and she says that she doesn't want to be my girlfriend." And he turns to his mom and he said, "What should I do?" And she said, "Leave her alone. She obviously gave you her answer. You just have to take her answer." And the thought about it never crossed his mind that he should just leave this lady alone.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like we have to teach people how to accept rejection. Like, okay, there's other people, there's other tournaments, there's other games, there's other things that you can do as opposed to just flashing and just doing something stupid. And then here's the worst part about it. And this was on my Facebook thing too. I said, unfortunately, now we have to deal with the whole violence in video games thing, even though this was a football game, but we never want to talk about violence in football. We're just going to talk about the violence in video games and bring this up during a doing because of they were playing a video game, but it was a video game about football, which inherently is just is super violent. But because we like it, we excuse the violence.
Right. I was
about a sport. I'm saying we as the royal we, because personally I don't care and I don't do fantasy football or anything anymore. I just stopped.
I still do.
The royal we care about football so much that when we started getting more information that this is really damaging these people to the point to where as they're taking their own lives, we're just like,
right. Just like, well, how can we explain CTE? Right. So, so that's kind of how it broke down. But
no, it wasn't how can we explain CTE. It's how can we muddle the explanation of CTE where dumb Americans will just be like,
yeah. So, but yeah, no, I thought about that as well, man, about the violence and everything. Someone said that today. They were like, well, because there was a post about the Microsoft thing, and they were like, well, I just can't let my kids, that's my 6-year-old, play Microsoft games because they're just too violent, which I can understand. Like a lot of their first party stuff is, some of it's not, some of it's racing, but some of that stuff is violent. But then I thought, I wonder if they watch sports, if they watch football. You know what I mean? But I just let it go.
Yeah, I wonder if you care about putting that young man in football, because 6 is around the time where they start playing that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 6 is around the time where you really start getting into that. So like you might want that little man to play football, and you might be damaging his brain, lady.
Right. So it's just interesting. I just found that interesting. But so here's the money story that or I guess the more serious one where we got to get real on, man, because so I don't know if you saw it on Facebook, but there was a guy, he tried to take his son into school, into a Christian, it's called A Books Christian Academy, and the academy rejected him because of his hair. And they said that they have a rule to where anyone who comes into school has to have hair. Their hair has to be no longer than their shoulder. Any of the students, but the teacher's hair was, longer than the shoulder or whatever. But it made me think of two things. The first of which,
it happened to a young lady too who was at one of those type of schools, and she had braids.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, the little kid, man, he was just he didn't know what was going on. Bless his heart, man. It makes me sad to think about it, but like he was just sitting there at the door, just like looking, it's like, well, like, why can't I go in? And his dad is like mad, filming everything, right, trying to stay composed, right. But he was like, what if he just like threw a cap on or like threw it up in a bun or something? You know what I mean? Can he come in? And they were like, no, like they just weren't trying to work with him. And it made me, like I said, two things jumped out. Number one, this is what systemic racism looks like, people. And number two, as a Christian, that ain't Christian.
Nope.
So those are the two things. Yeah, man. So these are the two things we're talking about.
To the house of the Lord.
Listen, man. I will challenge anyone who's ready to have this conversation to tell me that if you believe the same Bible I believe, we can look at any translation, we can look at any version of the Bible you want to look at, but there is no way you can justify to me that you can treat someone different by the color of their skin, the texture of their hair, the general disposition of their eye color, their gait, their walk. There's nothing that tells me that you should treat someone different because of any of that. Also, you can't treat people different from which nation they come from. You can't treat people different because that's not the God that I serve, and that's not in the Bible that I read. So when you see it out here and you see people claiming to be Christian, and you see a private school charging money to raise kids under a Christian value that isn't a Christian value that I nor anyone in the church should recognize, it infuriates me, because all you're doing is lying to people. Two ways. You're lying to people, telling them I'm going to raise your kid with a Christian standard. And you're also telling the world that, hey, we uphold a Christian standard, but that so-called standard you uphold is not Christian. It's a pharisaical standard, one that's been placed on you by yourself. Right. That's what the Pharisees ended up doing. They were so great at keeping the laws of God, all 600 and plus laws, that they ended up creating more laws they ended up creating more laws that started going against what God wanted. And they were impossible. All the laws were impossible to keep anyway. That's why Jesus came, in case you didn't know. They're impossible to keep anyway. But then you superimpose these extra standards on people. And for an academy like this to superimpose extra standards upon people, to turn someone away, that's not Christian just in and of its own self. It's just not. Like, the kid was there ready to learn. And there were teachers commenting on that post saying, I'm a teacher, and that kid he looked like he was bright-eyed and ready to go. I'd love to have that kid in my class. You know what I mean? And it's just infuriating.
Absolutely.
So
okay.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, so for these schools, most of them, you got to put some money down.
Right.
I wish a mother father would tell me that my child, who I paid for to be in this building, can't come in your building because she has braids.
Mm-hmm.
I wish a mother father would.
I know, right? Like, you make that choice, right? Number one, private schooling a kid is expensive, right? It's an additional financial burden on any family, right?
Bruh, Pooh Bear was looking at a private school. We was looking into like grants. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we were looking at grants because I'm like, I don't think we would be able to afford this. Like, we was gonna have to go outside the box to try to get,
Speaking of which, I found a program for you that would probably work. I'll send it to you.
No. She
not for private school, but I mean for public school. I found a program for you that is a federally funded program. It's in the same program that funded my research when I went to Puerto Rico and stuff. So I found it for you. It's for generally it's for underrepresented, so like minority people. It's for people who generally are first line. So first line college degrees, right? Like bachelor's degrees, right? So if you're like one of the first in your family to have one of those, or at least trying for one of those, you can probably enroll in this program. Anyway, it's called Trio Talent Search, and Trio is a federally funded program. I can tell you all about it later, but it's pretty cool, man. So that program is legit. So if you heard of Upward Bound, I don't know if you heard of Upward Bound, the summer program, they are part of the Trio program. It's one of 3 programs. They have one, the Talent Search is for the younger kids, Upward Bound is for high school kids, and Ronald McNair Scholarship is for undergrads who want to do research before they hit graduate school. 3 different areas of life, one program. It's legit. So yeah, so that's what you need to look into, see if your school offers it, because they offer it for my son, but my wife and I both have degrees, so he won't qualify at all.
Right.
So, but yeah, man, you're right, man. I wish somebody would tell me my money ain't good here. You know what I mean? Like, bro.
Yeah, look, we gonna have to take these whites only pies some Negro pie. Like, we gonna have to do. Like, how much is it gonna take?
It's just gonna take
change,
right? But even further, man, it's like, when you tell people. So, like, one of the things that we talk about all the time, me and Knox, and we talk about it in the chat, and I've talked to him about it before, but the evidence that systemic racism is here. A lot of people discount it, and even some people, just because they haven't seen it themselves, they're like, "Well, I haven't experienced it, so I mean, obviously, it can't." But no. It's here, man.
I told you this happened to me at work. My liberal but upper class white owner of the business came to work one day and was like mind blown that there's basically 2 separate Facebooks. And 2 separate versions of social media. Like, he didn't understand that, like, I experience this daily.
Mm-hmm.
I experience this daily. My Facebook and my girl's Facebook, completely separate worlds.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Completely separate worlds. But like, he was just completely like, I had no idea.
Man, I started light and I started early with people, but that the experiences we have are different, right? Like homecoming in college, There's the homecoming that gets sent out on everybody flyers, and then there's Black homecoming. They got the step shows, they got the after parties, they got all of this other stuff that you ain't seeing listed anywhere else, right?
Right.
And it's a real deal.
You gotta be in the know.
For real. And you gotta know people, you gotta know where to go. And they be like, oh no, they cool little man. You know what I mean? Like it's something like that. But a lot of people just think I'm joking. I'm for real. There are 2 homecomings at every campus. If they got a Black Greek system there, a National Paleolithic Council there, bro, you're gonna have something different there. But so systemic racism, though, like it's not just so it's those subtle rules, like, well, people with a certain hair, little boys with hair longer than this, they can't come in, right? But sometimes it goes further than that. Because they may say, if your reading level isn't this, well, then you can't come in. Or they go a little higher and say, well, just a little bit different is, well, you got to be able to buy everything on the list, and you got to have, a certain number of outfits for school, right? You got to have 5 clean ones that you can wear in a week. Whereas, it takes more money to do that, and generally, who makes
it's school Jim Crow.
Yeah, and so I wanted people to know, like, it's this site that I'm looking at, benjerry.com, right? Now, this was back in 2016, but it says 7 ways we know systemic racism is real. But I just want to let people understand that systemic racism is more subtle racism, but it's already built in, and these are the 7 categories that they define it as, right? So I want people to be aware, okay? So qualifications, when you qualify people based on certain elements, then it could be viewed that way, because it's a lot of times it goes back to the motivation of the qualification. But so those elements are wealth, who controls the wealth, right? And when you start making wealth an entry barrier, then it becomes systemic racism in and of its face. Employment, education, criminal justice, housing, surveillance, and even healthcare. And I was surprised about the healthcare one, because they listed a fact on here. In 2012, they did a study on a lot of doctors, and they found that 67% of doctors have a bias against African American patients. Now, this is when I go in and I'm paying my money to have somebody do what they do to identify what's going on with me.
Right.
So, and so the hospitals. And so because of that, Black Americans are far more likely than whites to lack access to emergency medical care. The hospitals we go to tend to be less well-funded, staffed by practitioners with less experience, generally resulting in a higher bill or a wrong prognosis, right? So, and it seems facing a lifetime of racism leaves African Americans vulnerable to developing stress-related health issues that can lead to chronic issues later in life. So it is real. I just want people to understand that it's real, and to stop discounting it just because you don't see it or you may not feel it. It's real.
And if you don't understand how this whole thing works, right? I have a very simple and short video for you to watch. It's on YouTube, and it's called "Race Explained in an Experiment."
Oh, I seen that. Yeah.
I seen it on Facebook a long time ago, but I just looked it up to see if it was on YouTube, because I seen it on Facebook. And it is basically a lot of people are lining up for a race. The winner of this race gets something. But before the race starts, someone is calling out different qualifications. If you came from a 2-parent household, take a step forward. If you have, if you have this and all of that kind of stuff, and then you slowly realize that with all of these things, all of these qualifications that you just placed on this race, it's the Black people who are left behind.
Right.
And it's the people of color that are left behind. I won't just say Black people. It's people of color who are left behind. Yeah. And so now, if we're still going to do this race, all of them have to work harder to get to the same place.
Yeah, to make up ground, man. Absolutely. And it's valid, bro. So, all right, Mike. So before we get out of here, we got about 7 minutes left. I'm gonna read this story that one of the guys that I went to high school with. His name is Aaron. He was a blue chipper football player in high school, like 6'5", 260, 265, just a monster, right? Really, really solid guy, man. I liked him a lot, man. He was 3 years
What's
ahead
up,
of me.
Chase?
Hey, what's up, homie? So I'm gonna read the story to you guys, and he just starts with the racists. Like he just like he's writing a letter, right? It's like, to whom it may concern, the racists. And he said, it's pretty long. I'll try to read it and cut it down, but I want you guys to hear the story because it's important. So while traveling this week in the middle of nowhere, my friend and I drove past a disabled car. At first, I thought no one was around. After passing the vehicle, I could see in my rearview mirror a person with pigtails just stood out. We turned around and there wasn't a home within 5 to 10 miles in either direction they'd seen. So after approaching the vehicle, found a young woman in her early 20s. She had a black woman. She had a blowout on her original front passenger tire, and donut she'd already replaced with it, right? So the tire is blown out and the donut's blown out, right? So there's no way she can get this thing back on the road. Okay. He asked how long she'd been stranded, and she said about 2 hours. She said people weren't very nice when they stopped to check on her. So she said while they stood there wondering what direction they should go, they called a tire shop that's closest to them, about 8 miles out, right? So while she gave them the tire size, they could hear both her and the guy on the phone. I guess she put it on speaker. Right, and he said that they had 2 new tires in the sizes that she need. Cool. He's like, cool. We quickly loaded up and went to the shop. Upon arrival, the young lady explained she called about the tire. The guy walked inside, returned, and said, nope, no tires. Come back tomorrow. Now, keeps going. He's scratching his head. Yeah, bro. He's scratching his head, and he's like, all right, no, really. It was clear why he hadn't sold her the tire she needed. So he said 25 miles the other direction. He hit another tire shop. They did look, but came back with the same answer. Then they did a third stop 20 miles or so later. Nope. Didn't even want to talk to the young girl. As she began to explain what she needed, the boss says, nope, we can't help you. The owner's not in. Come back tomorrow after 10. And then he finally said something. He's like I said, keep in mind, Aaron is not a small man. He is like 6'5", 6'6", 2. He at this point, I think he's probably like 280 now, right? So he's a big dude, right? Yeah. Nice dude. So he finally spoke and says, look, God, this young lady is hours from home. She's been stranded for hours and need a tire. Can someone at least look for a used tire if you don't have any used ones? The local sheriff's deputy put out his cigarette and then left the station. A worker comes back a few minutes later. Got 2 new tires, but can't sell them to you. I don't know the price, and the boss is out. Have to come back tomorrow, the boss says. The worker reluctantly takes a donut spare and says, I'm going to see if I can replace the tire on this and see if I have the right size. Said he noticed the boss or the guy in charge had a particular university t-shirt on. Just happened to be a place many of he and his friends had played football, right? So Aaron actually played football at the place where the guy had the t-shirt on. So he spoke with the dude for a while. Then became more conversational. After a while back to his truck where the young lady was standing, like very frustrated, right? Feeling like she was abandoned. He said, hell, I couldn't imagine how she felt though. He said, after several minutes, the worker approached my truck, taking the other wheel to his shop. Lady returns with both wheels, both new tires, right? He says, the boss says the new donut is free, but the new tire is $70, which is about right. Right, that's about right for a tire. He said he continued to explain he couldn't have the young lady on the road without a spare. He says, I don't know how people can treat others like trash. I, for one, along with my friend, would not leave the young lady stranded. We were glad she had gotten tires, but would have gladly given the young lady a ride to her home had she not gotten them. God places all of us where we need to be. All you need to do is what God would expect of you. He said, people, if you think heaven only has room for your particular skin color, you are not a friend of mine. Take yourself off my friends list. And like, dude, people say it's not real. And for people to say, hey man, this is a great country. Yeah, it is. But you gotta, if you're going to look at something, if you're an artist and if you're gonna draw a statue, if you're gonna draw a model, you got to look at it from many different angles. You got to see it from all sides, and that's this life. You need to see it from all sides. I'm just begging and pleading with people at this point, man. Don't go into it with a dogmatic idea, right? I love debate. You guys know that. And then with debate, you can build your argument and build your argument and build your argument. But the best arguments aren't dogmatic ones. The best arguments are the ones that consider the other side's approach and prepares for that, right? But you got to consider the other side.
And like, it's sad that we got to like basically beg you to understand. Right. It's basically it sucks, and it's really terrible that we have to beg you to understand, because at the end of the day, like if you are listening to this, then I consider you fam,
right?
But the thing is, if I was where you were, would you and the people around you consider me fam?
Right.
And if I tell you that this is what I experience daily, like it's so crazy how the people who are around me don't have to deal with this at all.
Right.
And like I have to, like, just the idea that, you know, and like even the white people closest to me don't understand. I have to be aware of my blackness at all times. From
Absolutely.
the moment I walk outside, I have to be aware that I am a large black man.
Right.
In that, you know what, today could be the day.
Right. And it's a shame that you got to go outside thinking that.
Do you know what that does? Do you know what that does to you? Especially when you look at like Mike Brown, who is somebody my size. You know what I mean? Mike Brown is taller than me, but like he's a large black man. And like you see somebody that looks like you that get choked out for selling Lucy's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like these are people that look like me.
Yeah.
Not just because they black, they're large and they have that shape. You know what I mean? Like and it's crazy that, you know, the crazy part about it is the willingness by our society to put our deaths on display as entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
because it's not like the police only do this to us. Like the police, you know, are kind of dirty to everybody, but we're the ones that the tapes get released on.
Well, I mean, and let's just talk about some of these other elements, man, because I brought it up, but I didn't bring. So it says African Americans are 2 times as likely to be unemployed, mostly because of the screening process. Job applicants with white sounding names get called back about 50% more of the time than applicants with black sounding names, even when they have identical resumes. Like that's just one.
You don't understand how many over the phone interviews I wouldn't pass if I had a bassier voice.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if I didn't sound like this, like I hate my voice, I really do. But like if my name wasn't Michael, if my name was just a little bit different, if my name was Jermichael, I would have a much harder time.
Or even Miguel. Like let's call it how it is.
Yeah,
if it was Miguel, you'd have a harder time.
I mean, just if something was just slightly different. And I know what it's like to do a phone interview. You get invited to come into the office and they see something completely different than what they thought they were talking to over the phone.
Yep. No, I concur, man.
The only reason why they don't know that is because I don't use my whole middle name. I just use the L. I just use the L. My middle name is made up. So
there you go. But I mean, education, man. It says here, black students are 3 times more likely than white students to be suspended for the same infractions. Okay, criminal justice system. Blacks only make up 13% of the population, but account for 40% of the prison population. And I've already talked before on the show many times about how we need justice reform, and that was one of the items on the platforms that just fell off the list, right? Yeah, that I really would like to see.
Yeah, is 13 still on Netflix? I thought it was a Netflix thing. Go get your 13th on Netflix.
Yeah, it's still on there. It's still out there. I saw it just last week. Blacks, and then for housing, blacks are shown 18% fewer homes and 4% fewer rental units than whites, right? Because they don't think they got it. And it says right now, black ownership. Well, this was back in 2016, but black ownership is at an all-time low, 42%, compared to 72% for whites, right? But we're more likely to be lent subprime loans. And then surveillance, black drivers are 30% more likely to be pulled over. We tell y'all this, but
I got hit with the subprime loan.
Did you?
I got hit with the subprime loan. It's the reason why I'm no longer a homeowner.
Yeah, man.
I owned a home, and then when they gave it to me, my mortgage was 9 something a month.
And then the variable rate.
And after that first 2 years, my mortgage went from 9 something to 13 something.
Yep. It's rough, man. It's rough. But I tell people these things, man. Just your view may not be the whole view. right? They always says in the story, they always say in an argument or in a disagreement, there's three sides, right? Your side, my side, and the truth. All I'm saying is at least recognize that there's more than just one view on this thing, and maybe we can all work our way toward the truth. But Mike, man, I didn't even get a chance to get into consumption, bro.
Just do what I always say. It's so simple, so simple. Everything is so simple.
Mm-hmm.
The golden rule. Hold on to that for everything that you got, no matter how you feel about anyone. Treat people how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Like this, it's really that simple. Like, you wouldn't want them to do this to you, so why are you doing it to them?
I mean, that's it, man. That's the Christian principle that keeps permeating, man. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Simple.
Love me. I'm lovable.
Is he though?
Teddy bear.
Hey, girl. All right, y'all. It's time for us to get up out of here. We've been here a little longer than an hour. Mike, you got some shout outs, homie.
Man, shout out to the people, man. Shout out to all of the August people so far, and the ones going forward. We had to push it a week because of what happened in Chase's family. But like we're back on it. I really enjoyed last week with Dave with Good for Gaming.
Oh, that was Dave on there? Oh, okay. Was that Dave with Major? Because I was watching
Dave Major Linux.
Yeah.
So we did that. That was the live show. And you know, I started a new YouTube page for just the painting videos.
Right up.
Not entirely sure how that's gonna go in the long run, but I'm gonna try to give this my best shot. Once Pooh Bear is back and I have more time to focus on just that and all that other stuff, and I can get that popping. But I'm gonna upload all of the old videos to the that new YouTube page, and I'll let everybody know what it is when it's time to let y'all know what it is.
Right. Okay. Word up, man.
I'm also thinking about working on a website where I could just sell my stuff through the website. Shout out to my man Denny.
Denny?
Yeah.
Denny Lewis?
He wants to buy one of my paintings. And man, it was not a painting. It was not a painting that I was intending to sell. Like, I made just making stuff randomly.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yo, if this is still available, I want it." And I'm like, you know what? I don't have any boxes for that size. So I gotta order boxes for that size. Gotta do it.
Oh, that's cool, man.
But shout out to Denny, man, because I got the boxes. I got them from Amazon, but they're not Prime.
Oh, okay. So it's gonna take a minute.
It's gonna take a little bit, but I'm gonna get that to you. And if I can fit anything else in that box, or if I gotta send you multiple boxes, I will. I'll throw something else extra in there. I'll do whatever, because that's dope, man. Like,
then he's cool. He's a cool dude, man. I want to give him a shout out too, man, because I've been catching up on my Tap the Craft, and man, they put on a great show every week, man. You know, he was he's overseas. You know, he went overseas and then went to Israel, and I think he came back already. I can't recall if he's back yet or not, but yeah, man, they've just been putting on good shows, and I really want to go to Trek Brewing, because that's John's brewery. They opened up. You know, his co-host, he has a brewery out there, and I believe in Ohio, man. So I really want to get by there. I really want to get down through there and check that thing out. So shout outs to Chase dropping in live, but then also for he hit me up and he was like, man, he's like, you got some stuff on your page, but it's not like your videos on your page. So he helped me like rearrange that. He was just like, yeah, you should do that. And while we were talking, I was like, I should do that. So I was just rearranging stuff, making the page look more like, you know, Facetious Home or whatnot. So shout outs there. And I'm glad he kind of got his streaming stuff set up. You know, his PC setup currently is just like my old one, right? Like, a lot of stuff is the same, like close to the same process, even though it's Intel, but released the similar years, similar specs, and all that stuff, man. So I sent him the specs for this build, because man, this build is legit.
And shout out to Chase, because I had to walk him through how I edit the show, and I may not be editing the show all the time no more. And that's what's up. Greatness.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Well, I mean, you guys don't really. I mean, your show is better if it's unedited, though.
Yes, but I mean, I levelate, I truncate the silence, I make sure that the beginning and the end is right, you know, that type of stuff.
Yeah. The normal stuff. Yeah,
absolutely.
But yeah, but everybody, look, thank you so much for listening to and or watching, Facetious 136. We will be back in your ears again soon. I was gonna try get with Brian this week, but I didn't tell him that we were gonna change the show, but he said next time. So I'm thinking the very next show, which will likely be next week, y'all, probably on Monday, I think we can get Brian up in here from a starting point. So I think
Monday is Labor Day.
That's right. Monday is Labor Day. So next week sometime, I think we might be Tuesday. Sometime. We'll see. We'll have to discuss that. I'll have to look at the schedule, the football schedule, see how it shakes out. But thank you all so much for listening. Look, leave us a review wherever you listen to the show. Please leave us a review. Look, subscribe to the show on YouTube. Even if you just listen to it on audio, subscribe on YouTube. Please, because then it'll allow me to like break out and give it its own little channel, man. Because that's what kind of what I want to do. I kind of want to break out and give it its own little thing, so it doesn't have to come off of my stuff all the time. So that way it can have its own identity and live on its own. Facetious deserves.
Yeah, there's a PlayStation 4 game night tonight for Scarcasm. What's the name of the game? Is Dead by Daylight?
That's Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, I ain't downloaded it yet, and with Comcast. Who knows?
You might not get it till next week.
Right.
But everybody, look, I really appreciate it. If you're listening to this on MP3 or if you go to openformradio.com and you look at like the little album art for the post, that's my new PC. Everything is built, everything is in that bad boy, and yeah, it's good. It's really good. It was a solid build. I'm glad I got away with that. So, y'all, thank you so much for listening and watching. We really appreciate it. We're back in your ears and in front of your eyeballs again next week. Peace out to the Warriors, y'all.
Peace out to the Warriors, yo.